So let's talk about it with constitutional lawyer Jeff Lewis. Jeff, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I'm anxious to first just get your overall thoughts on this retirement. It was something that was expected, right? And what about the timing of all of this?
Well, the timing is quite courteous to President Biden. Gives him a long time instead of waiting until October. Gives him a long time to vet his candidate and pick carefully which candidate he's going to nominate to the Supreme Court.
Let's talk about some of those candidates and your expert opinion here. If he does fulfill this promise, there's several names that have been thrown out there for the media and that he probably is considering. So we put some of them together. We have their photo, a little bit about them. We have Kentany Brown Jackson. She's 51 years old, Harvard Law School. She's been a federal judge since 2013, nominated, of course, by President Barack Obama to be a district court judge. And then Biden elevated her to the U.S. Court of Appeals for her district, which is the District of Columbia Circuit. And then earlier in her career, she was also, get this, the law clerk for Justice Breyer. What are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, everything you just said makes her a leading candidate because she survived the confirmation process. And President Biden needs a win in terms of his polling. And so she is a strong contender.
She is. Okay, here's another one that's being thrown around. Leandra Krueger. Her resume includes Harvard and Yale's law school, California Supreme Court justice since 2015, a Supreme Court clerk, and has argued a dozen cases before the justices as the lawyer for the federal government. She clerked for Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens. Are you familiar with her and her prospects for filling this position?
You know, she has a great reputation. She is only 45, so she could leave a lasting imprint on the Supreme Court. But I will say this, she is untested by Senate confirmation. In my state, in California, Supreme Court justices are appointed by a judicial commission and then confirmed by the voters later on. It's not as rigorous as a Senate confirmation process. I don't know that this is going to be a leading choice for President Biden.
Okay, good perspective there. Here's another one. J. Michelle Childs, graduate of the University of Florida and University of South Carolina, federal judge in South Carolina since 2010. Now, Biden nominated her in 2021 for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. She also served as a South Carolina state trial judge, so some judiciary experience there for.
She is the top person, in my opinion, who's likely to get the nomination. Congressman James Clyburn backs her. She has survived the Senate confirmation process. She was recently nominated to be elevated to a higher court and presumably was recently vetted by President Biden's team. And she's 55, plenty of time for her to make a deep and lasting impact on the court.
Right, I think that's the key here. Someone who can impact this court for decades. The Senate process, like you mentioned, that's important because that will have to be contentious. The confirmation process, and someone who has this legal background. Given the makeup of the Senate, though, it should be a pretty, obvious that whoever is nominated will make it through, right?
Well, nothing's sure with this Senate and the narrow margin that the president's party has. That's why I suspect the president will go with someone who's already been confirmed. It'll be tough for a Democratic senator to back out of voting for someone they previously voted for.
Any other key insights for this? I mean, this is a historic moment, right, with Breyer on this court, 27 years, leaving a legacy. And even though he's not formally going to retire till the end of the term, there's still some big decisions to be made by the Supreme Court that he will have input on, right?
Correct. He's got to put his hand on the decision concerning abortion rights. That's the biggest issue pending before the Supreme Court. And who knows if perhaps his role in that decision led to his decision to retire, if perhaps right that he fought for famously in terms of his 2016 decision, perhaps being reversed by a conservative majority might have been a factor in his decision to retire now.
Any final thoughts, Jeff, before we let you go? We really appreciate your time.
Sure, yeah. If President Biden fulfills his campaign promise, this is going to be a historic first. It's going to be the first female African-American to serve on the court, and it would mark the first time 4 women were serving on the court at the same time. So it's going to be a big deal no matter who President Biden picks.
That's right. Thank you so much, Jeff. We really appreciate your time. We're going to squeeze in a break.